on the side of WooLoo Gang, man. Like, I can just imagine like the relief on Ben's face, or like just like he just like kind of just breathing a huge sigh. It's like, man, finally I have like an assassin player in the mid lane. He's fucking popping off. I don't have to play with scumbag Blaz anymore. Ziggs Malzahar, bro. Like,
I need the spectate link, Lokesh.
I'm getting the spectate link, bro.
Come on, man. But yeah, I mean, it just looked good. Did you link the spectate link?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, there it is. Nice. Fearless Leader Lokesh providing me with the tools I need to get in the game.
Fearless Leader Lokesh, indeed. Hold up, I gotta pull up the NFL draft music for the Washington LeagueBall team. Where the fuck is it? Should I pull up the NFL draft music for the Washington LeagueBall team?
Just any NFL music, man. This is insane. Washington LeagueBall team and WooLoo Gang suddenly is hype.
Okay, hold up.
This game is actually interesting to me. Like, where beforehand I thought this was gonna be kind of a snooze fest. I think the LeagueBall team is good enough that they were just gonna, based on WooLoo Gang's form in the first 3 games they played, looked like they were gonna get run right over. But I'm hyped now. I think Kaiser Overlord finally has a chance to play against a top laner close to his elo, where he can actually try to pop off instead of looking like a little bit of a liability.
Yeah.
Then once again, and then they also have a bit of a jungle diff here with Sodalist versus Kolma, in terms of rank. And suddenly Big Ichi versus Wisher doesn't look really Wisher fit. Doesn't look, I mean, I think Wisher's a really good player. I think he's going to have a fine game. But whereas beforehand, I think you give bot and mid pretty heavily over to the LeagueBall team. After that game from Big Ichi, I think it looks a lot closer there in the mid lane. I do think Wisher's better than Allison in terms of his mid lane play, but it's a little bit of a harder test. But I expect Big Ichi to step up to the plate.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited for this band to play in his second game back-to-back. Like, WooLoo Gang's riding off a huge high right now, and I'm excited to see what they can do against the League Ballers. I do have the NFL Monday Night theme on for draft phase. Let's see what happens. We're going to jump straight into it. Immediately with a Kassadin ban.
Not a bad idea. Go ahead and ban Wandon's one tricks. He's not a one trick anymore. I will say one of the biggest developments in Brandon Wandon Wisher Washington's career was his ability to learn more than one champ. I think he can successfully play like 5 or 6 now, so harder to ban him out, but I think Kassadin is still his most dangerous one, so get that out of there. And it looks like the Akali is going to quickly follow suit. That's been pretty devastating for most people that have been playing it in VCU LCS.
Kassadin, Akali gone off the table, and Silas 3 bans towards the Wandon. Not really that big of a surprise. However, what is the surprise is no Kolma Olaf ban. I think Kolma's been a monster on Olaf.
It's a little scary. I don't think Silas is a champion you need to ban yet. I get a lot more worried about Silas when he comes in the second round and he can see 4 or 5 enemy champs and can counter. You could pick Silas based on their ultimates and can kind of counter you really, really hard. If somebody wants to lock Silas early in the first 3 bans or in the first 3 picks, I think you're kind of happy with that, because then you can draft your comp around him, give him less good ults for him to use, and then he can get countered pretty hard in lane if you get to counter pick against him. So I don't really know if you needed to ban the Silas that fast. And Kolma does just lock in his Olaf instantly, along with Wisher. Probably Wisher's Vladimir.
Yeah, it is Wisher's Vlad. I mean, Wisher known to be a very, very good Vlad player. Pretty much the ranged Kassadin in this case still has the potential to one-shot multiple people at once. Kolma has shown extreme Smurf performances on the Olaf. It's not that surprising to see him pick it up. Meanwhile, the Hecarim is actually locked in for WooLoo Gang. That's Sodalist on Hecarim, I think. That's a bit of a surprise. I've never seen this man play Hecarim in my life ever, and I think that's actually a really, really trash matchup into Olaf.
Yeah, I like Hecarim a lot. I think he's really good. In VCU LCS especially, he's been running over everyone. I mean, literally just running over everybody. But I think into Olaf, that's a terrible matchup for Hecarim, and maybe he's been practicing it, but I've yet to see Sodalist play it either, so I'm not sure how comfortable he's going to be on the pick. And then Lux and LuLu picked up, so it looks like that Lux is probably going to the mid lane, unless like that LuLu is something else. It doesn't look like it. So yeah, that's Lux, LuLu.
That
mid
could
lane Lux
actually be LuLu mid coming in for...
Ooh.
I think that's LuLu mid coming in with a Hecarim... I think that's LuLu Hecarim funnel, actually, from WooLoo Gang.
I don't know if funnel is the right word.
Quote me on this, I think it's LuLu... If it's not funnel, it's a LuLu mid. Quote me on
Yeah, yeah, I don't know about funnel, but like I think that's a LuLu... This is a draft supports around Hecarim kind of comp. I wouldn't be surprised if they grabbed a Shen here. Maybe, you know, the Shen Hecarim combo has been pretty devastating. And then, I don't know, another, just whatever ADC you want. Maybe like, honestly, maybe they take the Sivir for themselves. Give that Hecarim more movement speed. Get your whole team to run in there and engage with her ult. Definitely a little bit less hype than Big Ichi's excellent Echo play, but, you know, showing that he has multiple playstyles and is willing to take a backseat and let Sodalist carry on his Hecarim, which I'm actually excited to see, because I don't think Sodalist has ever been known as like a big carry player. And now he's going to be put into the spot where he has to show up. You know, his Graves play, I think he played really well. He had a huge gold lead. I don't think he died the entire game, and did some decent damage, but really wasn't the one carrying those fights at the end of the game. I think he was having a hard time just getting into the fight in the first place. It was really Big Ichi just smurfing. So now the onus is going to be on him on this Hecarim to actually kind of like hard carry this game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I can see something like a Senna coming in the bot lane, and then like a Nautilus maybe or something, I don't know. No, Senna in the bot lane, Karma top for Kaiser Overlord.
Could be a double support bot. They have Echo still available, and Echo is a really good pick into Vladimir. So, you could maybe see him pick it, and they send a double AP support bot lane. They are probably playing up against the best bot lane in the tournament. That Varus is gonna disprove everything I just said, but they're playing up against a very good bot lane here in Balraga and Blue Ches. I think they're probably the best bot lane in the tournament. So, really, really scary here. Once again, I'm not a big fan of the Varus pick. Into this comp, lethality would be trash, and I don't think that one hits very good either. I think you just pick any other better ADC that's left up.
Yeah, definitely.
Grab Jin.
Irelia for Kaiser Overlord 02. Actually going for the Irelia blind. Malphite will be locked in response for Joko Lyoko.
You have to know that's coming. I mean, I guess he's comfortable with it. His Malphite's kind of a one trick. It wasn't banned. Normally, I wouldn't like blind picking a champ like Irelia into the top lane. I think that's kind of scary to get countered. And I mean, Malphite probably does kind of body her in lane, actually. I think Malphite actually would probably be decent early levels. But they had to know it was coming, so I guess he's comfortable in picking into that Malphite, which is why he wasn't as scared to blind it.
He really is probably comfortable in that matchup. I mean, Rajiv's Irelia is okay at best, I'd say. I mean, I don't think he's okay at it. Like, I think his laning phase isn't really the best, and that's kind of where you want to abuse Malphite as Irelia, and you definitely can, especially once you get the 5 passive stacks. We'll have to see what happens with it, but I think the team fighting on the side of Washington LeagueBall is a lot smoother than it is for WooLoo Gang. It's a lot easier to execute. There's a lot of what ifs on WooLoo Gang, right? When Washington LeagueBall is just like go in, kill everybody, right? So
apparently Sodalist accidentally made the game a blind pick, and now we have to remake the entire lobby. Just a shout out to all the captains. Despite the fact that blind pick seems like it might be faster to everybody pick their champions, there is no pause function in a blind pick game, so you will have to actually select the tournament draft. Yep.
Like, I personally don't care if you guys have to pause or not, but like, I know the players care, so just make it a tournament draft. And
I mean,
it saves time for us as well.
It's important. I mean, there's no reason to not do tournament draft. The pausing. I mean, we literally just watched. Teams often pause. I think there's usually like a pause a game, probably at least. So for something small, somebody DCs, somebody's parents walk in on them, they have to run out real quick. Just anything. So pick tournament draft.
Easy tournament draft. I mean, it's just the right thing.
The right thing to do.
For some reason, I am not in the spectate, so now I am in spectate. All right, we chilling now.
Aha.
Thank you, Wandon. I understand I'm supposed to be in spectate. Brandon Wandon Wisher Washington. You got Roland Chang in the chat spitting some straight fire at Ben, saying Ben can't play Hecarim because you actually need to gank with it. That's a noof if I've ever heard one.
True, but at least you gank fast.
All I want to say is shout out to Josh. This man bought me some bath bombs. After I'm done streaming, I'm ready to use one of these. Thank you, Josh.
Dude, where's my bath bomb?
Tristan, just come over, join me in the bath. We can share the bath bombs together.
That sounds excellent. I am on my way. Make sure to tune in to Lowcash's stream after this to catch our bath stream. Face cams will be enabled.
Face cams will be enabled. Maybe we'll sell some Lowcash plus Red Lightning bathwater.
Some merch.
Some Lowcash Red Lightning bathwater if you guys want to pick that up. Low price of $7.
Just a shout out to Charlie in the chat. I don't think they're doing anything when their parents walk in on them. I just meant somebody comes in and talks to you. I don't know. Stop thinking dirty thoughts, mister. Somebody bonk him with the horny stick.
I think Charlie's just perpetually horny.
True. Probably.
You know who is perpetually horny? My boy Kian Chan. Kian Chan is perpetually horny.
Sources. I guess Wandon is actually in the game, so he can't source this. But sources. That apartment is weird. This group of guys starting to freak me out a little bit.
Red Lightning, are you coming over for my I'm fucking throwing down on Saturday, bro. Are you coming over?
Yes. I did not know you were throwing down, but if you're throwing down, I will throw down.
Dude, Elvin said he's gonna raid my house on Saturday, so you better come over.
Ooh. That sounds lit.
He's gonna raid my house, so you should
come
over on Saturday.
Raid Locash's house on Saturday.
Let's raid my house on Saturday, boys.
Catch you guys there.
Who's trying to raid my house on Saturday?
We're losing viewers as we talk about it. Not invited to the Locash house raid. Just leave the stream.
Everyone who's watching is invited to my house raid. Y'all can raid my house. I'm turning 21, so it's...
Ooh, important day.
It is an important day.
Yeah, too bad bars are closed. You can't celebrate. Not at a bar, at least. You can celebrate at home. Responsibly. Socially distanced.
Hey, bro, all I'm gonna say is water is my vodka.
True. This is going to, like I said, we are in public. This will be a socially distanced, everyone wearing masks raid at Locash's house.
Everyone will raid my house, socially distancing, 6 feet apart. You know.
So while we wait for this spectator delay, we'll talk about the comps a little bit. Who do you think has the better comp here? Because I think they're both actually pretty decent.
If it weren't for the LuLu Uber buffing the Hecarim, I would say Washington LeagueBall has a better comp, but I think overall, from like a champion's perspective and what the comp can accomplish, I think WooLoo Gang does have the better comp for the first time in a long time. However, Washington LeagueBall's comp is way easier to execute than WooLoo Gang's is.
Yeah.
So I'd have to give, like in terms of VCU LCS standards, I'd have to give the advantage to Washington LeagueBall team.
Yeah, I was still gonna go Washington League Ball team here with their comp. It's just really well rounded. They have Malphite engage. They have late game scaling with Vlad. With Malphite, if he just Malphite's just good late game because he can always set up a team fight. Caitlyn's pretty good late. Thresh is always good at all points of the game. They have decent early game because Kate Thresh should dominate here, despite the fact that they probably lose out in like the push on the bot lane early against Varus Lux. I think just the skill level difference between the two bot lanes should mean that they, kind of just have their way here and get to do whatever they want here in the bot lane. And it's just Sodalus has to snowball here pretty hard. And I think Olaf can just prevent that by being much stronger than Hecarim is early game. So it's not going to be super easy for the Hecarim to get going. Meanwhile, like you mentioned, the eggs are all in one basket here. I mean, if Sodalus doesn't get fed, then there's nobody to buff up. And you got a mid lane to buff you up. You got your support to buff you up. You got Varus to kind of set up fights for you to help out with his ult and with his arrow long range. And I really had to dive with you. I mean, I think the Hecarim, if he's not getting fed, if he's not hard carrying, I don't think they can win. And I'm not sold on Sodalus Hecarim hard carry yet. I'd love to see it, but I'm not quite sold. I haven't seen anything out of him that has showed me that he can do that.
I mean, hot take, I feel like this is pretty much Ben's, maybe first time playing Hecarim and, probably since, the 14th century, so, I'm not too excited for it, but what I am excited is to see Big Ichi on the LuLu. He showed us he can pull off a extreme hard carry assassin performance on the Echo, but at the same time, he's also willing to show that he can be a more supportive player, take a bit of a backseat role in the team, actually, and sort of just, play the Enchanter. And I'm excited to see what he's able to do is trying to show he's a man of many talents, basically.
Yeah, does take Ignite. So, I mean, it's good into the Vladimir because it actually, helps your team cut down that the healing with the Grievous Wounds. But, I mean, you could always just buy Executioners and Morello. I mean, I think the Ignite, he might try to actually look for a kill threat here on Vlad with LuLu mid. LuLu does have some decent damage in the early game. So, we'll have to see that. But,
Wandon's definitely molding, though,
Yeah, I'm just saying, if WooLoo Gang win this game, and Big Ichi, even if he doesn't, but especially if Big Ichi plays a big part of them winning this game, I mean, they instantly have to shoot up in terms of, every team has to suddenly watch out for this team, because they would have just beaten, I think, the Washington League Ball team and Forehead 2.0. I'm a little bit lower on Forehead now, but I think both of those teams are, real contenders. I don't think they're quite as strong as Mop or Rams of Love, but I think both these teams could easily compete for the actual title at the end. And WooLoo Gang back-to-back, if they're able to take them both down, that team looks scary. I mean, that's a team I wouldn't want to face if they can win both these games here.
They really aren't a team that we would want to face. I mean, we'll see how they stack up against this. Looks like the Washington League Ball team is league balling through the bot lane in this case. I had the NFL Monday Night music up to hype up this team a little bit. But, I'm more hyped for WooLoo Gang. I'm more hyped for Big Ichi. They're monsters,
stacked.
but, they're stacked.
They're going to catch
they're
him.
ready for this.
5v5.
Multiple
Big Irelia stun.
Comes in.
Wriggler the Olaf, he's going to die instantly.
First blood goes over to the Lux. Joko Lyoko falls soon after to the
Kaiser,
Irelia.
walk away. Oh, doesn't quite play it perfect. Still had flash up.
Going for these kills right here. Another double root lands. Blue Chez and Bayoraga get locked down. They're going to continue chasing in on these kills. Flashes land. Big Ichi picks up the kill credit onto Blue Chez. 1-0 and 2 on the board. WooLoo Gang are dominating this early game skirmish. What?
Yeah. 3-2. I mean,
to this
definitely
team.
Big Ichi, man, he's just too good. He starts this game off with the kill. Now Vlad did get a kill as well, so it's not all lost for them. A 3-for-2 isn't the end of the world. I think it actually could have been worse. Walking into a 5-man in a bush when you're invading early. At least they brought all 5 members and they traded back. One thing I'm sad about is none of these teams apparently seem to know where their flash keys are. Big Ichi flashed to pick up the kill there at the very end onto the Thresh, but neither Thresh nor Kaiser Overlord use their flash, or or Colma 25 on his Olaf use their flash, or Joko Leoko use their flash to get away here. They all just saved it, and I mean that's great, I guess. But I think you could have seen that level 1 go way differently if these players had been willing to commit, summoner spell resources into this fight.
I mean, definitely. But I guess critically, one thing that we can take a note from is kills on Vlad in the early game are actually pretty good, as it does facilitate his scaling a little bit. I'm pretty sure they're okay with going for that trade, even if First Blood was handed over. It wasn't as disastrous as it could have been, let's just say that.
Yeah, and kind of a big brain pickup here. Wisher uses his gold from the first kill he got to actually buy 2 control wards, and I think that's all he bought. So he doesn't spend all of it, but spends 150 straight up on 2 control wards, trying to keep his vision, I guess, well, so the Hecarim doesn't gank him. Wants to keep vision up on as much of the area as he can. So I think it's actually pretty smart, because once again, we identified the Hecarim's really your win condition here, and if you can keep him from getting an early lead, at least on yourself, if not for protecting yourself from the rest of the protecting the rest of your team from that Hecarim, you have a really good chance scaling up later.
Kaiser Overlord is currently getting clapped by Joko Leoko in the top lane. In that lane, you kind of have to wait. You kind of have to play it similarly to how you would play against Maokai. Wait till you have 2 or 3 points into queue, and then like 5 passive stacks, and then into an all-in. That's like the best case scenario for Irelia. Like, you just don't out-trade Malphite in the early game.
Yeah, you just build a Bork, wait till you get a Bork, and then you'll clap him in the side lane. Until then, you're probably not going to win these trades. You're probably going to have to wait until Malphite spams his Q enough to be out of mana, and then maybe look for an engage.
Maybe. Oh,
decent damage, good dodge.
This is the hook, actually. Decent dodge comes through, but a lot of damage traded down onto Simper Sanch. Has to blow the heal, actually. Huge damage. Walks straight into the trap that's sneakily hiding behind the tower. Bottom 3 ADC dropped to about 80 HP.
Yeah, probably should just consider backing here.
Oh! Beraga!
Nearly gets him. Nearly gets him. They both started Cull, actually, which is interesting. Both of them just deciding to, sack, kill pressure in lane. I mean, we do see a lot of trading here. If you'd gone, Doran's Blade instead of Cull on that Caitlyn, maybe you pick up that kill. I'm not really sure. But either way, just deciding to farm it up for this point. Forcing bottom 3 ADC back already is going to lead to a 10 CS lead at 4 minutes, which is pretty significant for the Caitlyn. Lets her get a pickaxe compared to the 2 longswords of Varus.
That's 5 extra AD. It's a little bit closer to your Infinity Edge power spike. Not Infinity Edge, what am I talking about? Yeah, Infinity Edge. I'm kind of out of it, bro.
You're doing your best.
I'm doing my
best. That's all we
can
ask.
Here.
But she is going to speed her way up. She's going to finish her call probably faster based on that CS advantage, and have a little bit more power in trades. Plus, I think this bot lane should just kind of be winning out already. Like I said, Beraga and Blue Ches have been performing really well. I think they're probably the scariest bot lane in this tournament. And despite maybe a champion lane advantage in Varus Lux, I just think the rank and the skill advantage might be a little bit too much to give them any kind of lane control.
Most definitely.
And when I say that, I don't really mean that as Flame. I think Saxmuffin and bottom 3 ADC have actually played really well. But in the VCU LCS, it's inherently
all the hook lands actually.
Good hook actually on bottom 3 ADC.
Caught immediately.
Not followed up by.
I'm surprised he didn't go for the flay into the trap there. That would have been kind of a good play considering the heal is down.
Yeah. Could have been better there, but still a good hook. Get some decent poke damage out onto bottom 3 ADC again. Make him pop his potion here. But what I was going to say is VCLCS is inherently it's balanced by being unbalanced tournament, where you've got players of all ranks from Challenger all the way to Iron in this tournament, so you're going to oftentimes find big mismatches, and it's not a problem if you're worse than somebody else. Nobody expects, bronze and silver players to outperform diamond players, but you just have to hope that your diamond players can outperform their silver players just as well.
Jokolioco TP's in, ult straight onto Big Ichi. The flash lands. The LuLu ult is popped right here. Meanwhile, we do have a scuffle happening in the bot lane.
He's gonna go down here.
Is definitely going down here. Flashes, Brutus picks up the kill credit for that one. Critically, Big Ichi survives the multi-man all-in.
Yeah, good play from Big Ichi, not as good from bottom 3 ADC. You have to... It's something you see a lot, and I mean, it's something every player does, but you never want to burn that flash unless you absolutely have to, and by waiting for Caitlyn to flash first, you assure that if you burn your flash, you're going to die. You have to just flash first there, because if you flash first, you live. If you wait for Caitlyn to flash, you burn your flash and die. So, yeah, just holding it for a bit too long. Needed to just go ahead and pull the trigger there to get away.
That was an interesting Aurelius stun.
Yeah, I guess he assumed he was gonna kite that direction, or maybe just a little bit of a misclick. But either way, a slight gold lead over to the Washington LeagueBall team here, just under 1,000 at 7 minutes. Not astronomical by any means, but we see a pretty big CS lead in the mid lane and the bot lane. Huge in the bot lane, to be honest. But
doubling the CS in the bot lane, actually.
Yeah, but a decent gap in the top lane, so it's not as devastating to the overall gold advantage as it could be. There's the stun. Kaiser Overlord does pick this up. He does have his ult. He should go ahead and use it here. Is going to get the extra knock-up, and will be able to Q him here to get the kill.
Kaiser
solo kill on the
Overlord, Rajiv with the solo kill, my man. I'm so proud.
I don't think he needed his flash there. He did burn his flash when after Jokolioco had already burned his. I don't know if he was in range to follow with the Q or not. If he wasn't, then good flash. If he was, I mean, still good solo kill, but I don't know if you needed to burn that cooldown. Either way, that's the best play we've seen from Kaiser Overlord this tournament. He's been kind of bullied by most of the other top laners, but finally getting to play up against somebody that he can actually have his way with.
What do you mean, Jokolioco best top in this tournament, baby?
Especially on Malphite, I think Jokolioco's actually been playing pretty good in this tournament. I don't mean this as a slight toward Jokolioco. I just mean I think there's some really good top lane competition in this tournament, and Kaiser Overlord has been struggling. It is hard to play a carry top playstyle into players that are, just genuinely you're a gold player and you're playing against diamond top laners, and I think it's really hard to play a carry versus carry playstyle into a gap like that. Whereas players like Jokolioco are able to play their tanks, and it's not as difficult to play a tank into a better player than it is a carry. I mean, we saw Dog get stonewalled by Roland Chang's Alistar top that bought a support item, and because it was a tank v tank, Roland Chang legitimately is 5 CS down and not punished hardly at all.
Right, exactly. And I think that's always the move, it'll get to a point eventually where this Irelia will never be able to kill this Malphite, so, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, he's already stacking up the armor. It's just going to get harder and harder for Kaiser Overlord to actually pull off those solo kills.
Yeah. For sure, but it is nice to see him. He got the kill while he was actually in the window where he could. He waited for Malphite to kind of run out of mana, and then just all-in when he really had no damage to trade back onto him. So it was a really good play, and it's good to see people willing to take carry matchups. It can go very badly, as we've seen in a couple of his games, but finally here he's able to show what he can do on these carries. I think he take the trade back. Actually, Olaf is here.
He's gonna have to ult, just go straight on the Olaf in this case. Waste the W, actually. He would have been able to block a lot of the damage if he hadn't wasted it earlier in the all-in. It's alright, though. Big Ichi is getting aggressed on by Brandon Wandon Wisher. Washington probably will not go down. The hemo-playing damage is not enough to actually take down the man, the myth, the legend, big motherfucking Ichi himself.
Yeah, not quite enough DPS from Vlad there. Crucially, just by being able to go in on the LuLu, I mean, you just kind of out-heal any of her harass as Vlad. She doesn't have enough damage in the early game to actually, add up, really. When you're a Vlad, you can constantly spam your Q heal. So, good for him. Unfortunately, can't get the kill, but does expand that CS lead. But luckily for Blue side, when it comes down to it, you're really not looking for a carry performance here from Big Ichi on this LuLu. You are hoping to scale up in lane against this Vlad and just buff up this Hecarim to run over the game.
Yeah, I mean, Sodalist hasn't really been doing much, and you can kind of see his inexperience on Hecarim by rushing the Warrior enchantment instead of going straight into Trinity Force, like many high elo Hecarims tend to do. He also hasn't really made a presence like his presence be felt on the map. He's just kind of been chilling, kind of farming, as Ben does the best. But it's kind of not what you want to go for, especially when you have such a volatile top laner and Irelia really want to target that lane, and even in the bot lane when Caitlyn and Thresh are being pushed up constantly, it's kind of easy for Hecarim to come in and like get a double kill there.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him go bot. I think top's kind of hard. You might be able to find kills on that Malphite, especially when because you know the solo kill was on him when he was pushed up pretty far. If he's pushed up like that, it's really easy for Hecarim to just walk up and get him. But in the bot lane, Blue Chest and Balraga have been pushed basically under the turret, as Caitlyn's generally do the whole game, and I think you could find a pretty good gank opportunity there for the Hecarim, especially with Lux and Varus to follow up on. It's really easy for them to start out that fight and hold them in place while Hecarim runs in using their ult and their binding from Lux. So I'm surprised he hasn't visited the bot lane yet.
Honestly, same. I'd have liked to see a visit to the bot lane, but really good stun lands actually.
Yeah, Malphite's attack speed slow is kind of making life pretty difficult for Kaiser Overlord here. Good try from Lux. Can't quite get the dragon, but at least was there, knew it was going on, and attempted to seal it with her ult.
Yeah, I mean, Kolma's ult is just way too good, dude.
Honestly, it looks good.
It really does. I mean, nothing much else needs to be said about it. Joko Lyoko 112 is just chilling in the top lane. My man.
Yeah, I don't know if spending all the bans on Wisher in the early ban phase was really the move. Just for him to go on Vlad anyway. Vlad's something he's comfortable on, so maybe just ban that Olaf instead.
The hook nearly lands on the Sax Muffin, actually.
Yeah, that could have gotten dangerous.
It really
not a good time to Caitlyn ult when Sax Muffin has both stacks of his Lux shield up. But hey, you know, get some poke damage out.
Yeah, definitely try and get some poke damage out. We'll see what happens. Vlad will actually be pretty strong on an all-in with all those Spellbinder stacks. We could maybe see Kolma padding towards mid, and that looks like that is what he's doing right now. Soloist is around the corner, but knowing Ben, he'll probably end up going for the Krugs instead. Meanwhile, bottom 3 ADC gets hooked. Not
trapped, though. Having a hard time making that hook trap combo work. They've gotten a fair amount of hooks there, but you know, the only traps they're ever hitting are when bottom 3 ADC accidentally walks into one or is forced to walk into one. He hasn't actually been able to hook and flay him into the trap.
Barraga is corner right now. Sodalist decides to gank bot lane, but then backs off instantly. He could have easily gone for the ult into the E combo, but Joko Lyoko is here. Sax Muffin fails the Malphite ult flash. However, there's no follow-up on the engage. Joko Lyoko takes the Thresh Lantern to safety, decides, hey, we shouldn't be forcing this further. Big Ichi has arrived with his Big Ichi.
Yeah, I mean, they use the Ignite, so that's kind of not what you want.
Yeah, he misses the Hecarim ult! No!
They're still going to get Blue Chest, though. He has Stopwatch. He still has Flash. He might be able to get out of here if he can get to the wall and actually get over, but no, Big Ichi actually picks up that kill. And that's going to be the end of the fight. I was going to say, they actually get a kill at the end on the Hecarim, or Hecarim didn't pick it up, Big Ichi got it, but they get a kill regardless at the end, so not bad. And I was going to say, it was already good, even if you don't get the kill. Just by Hecarim showing up, you force the flash out of Caitlyn, and you force the TP out of Malphite. So you get 2 big summoner spell cooldowns. You get first turret, because Kaiser Overlord on Irelia is just wailing away on that turret now that Malphite's gone. And so Hecarim shows, I think he should have been coming bot a lot and much earlier than now, because look how much they were able to get just by him showing up, you know. Before he even commits, he gets the flash teleport and the first turret.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot's going wrong for the League Ballers right now, and
Sax Muffin's probably gonna die here.
Instantly popped by Brandon Wanden Wisher Washington. The
Big Ichi has ult, doesn't use it.
Another shutdown going in, this time over to Kolma's Olaf. The mid-jungle duo is saying, no, we will not lose.
Yeah, a little bit of misplay there. Big Ichi did not use his ultimate on himself or on Saxmuffin when they could have survived. Is willing to commit his flash to the play, but not his ult. So, bit unfortunate there. Just another pick, and it leads to the mid turret tier 2 actually falling. So both mid turrets down on the side of blue side. And now they're looking for maybe a dive onto this Irelia who's farming under turret.
Things are starting to look a little bit spicy here. Ugh.
Yeah, 2k gold lead for Washington LeagueBall team. So, pretty significant at 17 minutes. It's by no means game ending, but with a more well-rounded comp, I think, and at least an easier to execute comp, I think that 2k gold lead is going to be pretty meaningful, especially because I believe most of it is sitting onto Wisher himself. And the Olaf. It's about 1k on Wisher and 1k on Olaf, so that is pretty scary. When, you know, you're hoping that your Hecarim is your biggest carry, and he's actually down gold to the Olaf in the early game, and Wisher's Vladimir, who could easily one-shot a lot of these squishy members and that have no mobility, like LooLoo, Varus, and Lux, is stronger than you'd hope that he would be.
Decent amount of damage is put down onto the Wandon, but it doesn't matter too much as he phase rushes out of there at light speed. I mean, Ben's Hecarim hasn't really been impactful. Yeah, it really hasn't done anything. I mean...
he also finished his Warrior, which I don't like.
I mean, yeah, I mentioned that earlier where I kind of wanted to see him go straight Triforce before getting the Warrior, but he decides not to, and I'm just... not about that. Joko Lyoko lays a huge two-man ulti. Big Ichi is forced to pop the ult on himself. Brandon Wendon goes straight into the back line. It shouldn't matter though. Wisher is actually going to go down, but it's currently a 2-for-1 in the fight. They're going to continue to chase onto this. Blue Chest misses the flash hook, but it shouldn't matter as the bottom 3 ADC actually takes down Joko Lyoko. He's fucking popping off. Sim for
bottom 3 ADC is just putting them down.
He's a top 2 ADC. Never mind. We are lying. Just change your name to top 2 ADC right now. You popped off that fight, my guy. Holy
That was some
shit.
excellent play from bottom 3 ADC. As well as Big Ichi played pretty well. Managed to get his Ignite down onto Wisher so he couldn't get all the healing from his ultimate. And also just kept himself alive from the engage with his own ult. Put down some decent damage. They're able to isolate Wisher and kill him, which is pretty good for the extended team fight. Meanwhile, they do lose Kaiser Overlord and Sodalist, which isn't really good, and they didn't have the LooLoo ult for Sodalist, so he dies pretty quick. But just kiting away from bottom 3 ADC, dodging the flash hook from Blue Ches, puts out a devastating amount of damage with just his Bork and the LooLoo buffs.
But honestly, though, with them getting the Dragon, I mean, what do you call it?
So scary.
With the League Ballers getting Dragon, they're now on Soul Point, looking to get like a 23-minute Soul. And I think the biggest thing here is that there's a bit of jungle difference happening. Really, it does go aggressive onto Wisher here. There is a bit of jungle difference happening, but, you know.
Yeah, so luckily I think they found, it's a little unfortunate. Right now, bottom 3 ADC doesn't have his sum, so it's a little bit scary in these team fights. But with him getting those kills there, they showed that even if it doesn't work out with the Hecarim plan, you could still try to buff up with LooLoo that Varus and try to win team fights through having a stronger one-hit ADC. I still think Caitlyn's probably a superior AD though, and he's gonna have an easier time in these team fights. They're still about even on gold, just slight advantage to Varus, who ult onto Big Ichi, taking a lot of damage here. Uses his ult of his own to stay alive. Thresh is here as well though. They don't have a ton of damage, but they do have plenty of crowd control. They're going to pull him in, lock him up, and he is going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, the Thresh roams up, Malphite lands the ultimate. Pretty easy to follow up on the CC there. Don't need damage when you're perma-stunned for 27 years. You know, I don't know. I think it's okay to send Kaiser Overlord into this lane. Oh, he's just, like, wailing away at Wisher. He does have the Wit's End. He's going aggressive now. The Irelia ult does land. Stand you. Holy shit! Rajiv, baby! It's fucking Rajiv!
I was about to say, I think it's a great idea to put Kaiser Overlord in the bot lane there. He collapsed Vlad. Now they are going to lose the Baron, so that's not ideal. just a little bit of nobody was dead. Just a little bit of jungle diff there. They were not.
Misses
Oh,
the old man. Ben, please.
Yeah, that's
like the second or
that's
third
bad.
Hecarim ult. He's ulted. He's used his Hecarim ult like 2 times or 3 times, and he's missed it every single time he's used it. So
yeah, that's a little sad. I'm not sure why they weren't. They just didn't feel comfortable stepping up even enough to like put them off Baron. They knew it was happening. It was a 4v4. All 4 members were right there. So I don't know why they didn't feel comfortable enough to like step up and at least push them away. And Irelia still could have TP'd and helped and made it to 5v4. You could have just won that fight and not given up Baron. But instead they give it up. They are going to give up a decent. The gold lead is back in the favor of Red side, and now they have with the Baron, they should be able to get positioning on this last Drake in 1 minute to get the soul. Don't let that overshadow the fact that Rajiv, Kaiser Overlord on his Irelia, played that really well. I think it's really good into Vladimir. I think Vladimir actually struggles a little bit into, like, I was going to say sustained DPS assassins almost, because you have to just basically burst them through their healing.
That was an excellent route from bottom 3 ADC, actually. That was from Smurf. I'll give him that.
Yeah. If you miss that to his pool, you probably just die. But it's like, if you're able to burst Vlad down, it's good, but his healing comes through and he's not like burstable. Like most assassins can't just one-shot him, but Irelia is kind of, especially with the Wit's End, is kind of like perfect for fighting him because she does enough burst damage to like not allow all of his healing to come through, but also when she's stacked up, her DPS is consistent enough that it's not like he only has to survive one combo from her and then he's fine, heals up and kills you. She has enough damage to just keep wailing on him after that initial combo and bring him down pretty quick.
Yeah, with the 5 passive stacks dealing like 200, 250 damage each, like it's just really, really hard to actually like continuously get the heals off, and she's doing that at least 2 times a second, 2 times every second, 2 autos every second with the 5 passive stacks. It's just unbelievably difficult for it to actually happen, but they are going to opt to fight for the soul here.
They need to.
As they need to, yeah. It is Infernal Soul. It's absolutely massive that they get this.
It just makes it hard if you... Infernal Soul's not like the biggest. I don't think it's impossible to play against by any means, kind of like Ocean Soul sometimes is. Ooh, Kaiser Overlord a little caught out here. Gonna get trapped up.
He actually ended
Rajiv.
No. Oh no! Does get a lot
good
low.
ult.
Ben finally decides to land a Hecarim ult, but he's too squishy. He's gonna go down pretty much immediately. Joko Lyoko is in the backline. Wandon lands a multi-man Hemo Plague onto the entire team of WooLoo Gang. Bottom 3 ADC finally decides to use his ult just to save himself, cosplaying a typical selfish ADC player. So
Yeah, he's gonna probably die here to Mr. Wisher. Just gives up, let him die. Yeah, pretty bad team fight there, honestly, from blue side. Kaiser Overlord gets a little too cocky, walks up, and just dies. And crucially, it's honestly worse than the fact that he dies. He forces the Lulu to ult him just to keep him alive for just a little bit longer. And so when Hecarim goes in, once again, no defensive tools are used on this Hecarim to buff him up or help him keep alive through this point in the game where he's very, very squishy and just does not have the damage to one-shot Caitlyn in this backline when he's not buffed up at all. They are going to try to fight again here. The Thresh Lantern does get Kolma out to safety, and that is going to probably end it here. Lux steps up, but takes a lot of damage from Caitlyn, and will probably die. No, is going to be saved from her ultimate by Sodalist, who sacrifices 3/4 of his health bar to keep her alive.
Got Keith Chief in the chat saying, "Tell Kaiser Overlord he bad, lol." Nah, man, I gotta hype up my boy Rajiv after that 1v1 against the Wandon in the bot lane. He deserves to win this game just because of that.
So, yeah, I think he's been playing. He's been playing the side lanes really good. He solo killed Joko Lyoko. He solo killed Wisher. He got the first turret. He's been clapping people in the side lanes. He's up a ton of CS on the Malphite. So well done. But in this team fight, he hasn't been able to show very much. It's been bottom 3 ADC popping off the most in the team fight, and that's a really hard comp to play in a mobile ADC into. I mean.
Yeah, dude, props to bottom 3 ADC. He's been actually playing pretty damn well.
But I don't know how you survive that Malphite just ulting you. He has no flash or heal now. That Malphite is going to ult him, and he gets one shot by Wisher every single fight, which is why it's kind of scary to lock Varus into a comp that that showed like they didn't have the Malphite at that point, which is the biggest threat I think. I mean, not for damage, but it sets up Wisher. But they did already see the Vladimir and they saw the Olaf, and it's a little scary to pick an ADC like Varus into that comp.
Most definitely, they can just kind of run him down. You know, Wisher going for the Hemo play again. Flash E ults on down to everyone. Bottom 3 ADCs immediately popped. Wisher, his E is back up actually. Ties of Blood doing crazy amount of damage. Kaiser Overlord decides to dive the backline, but it just gets blown up immediately. WooLoo Gang looked good for a second, but all of a sudden the Vladimir came online. Wisher.
Sodalist tries to fear him into the turret. Is not successful.
His heal's back up. It doesn't matter, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is just BM. Big Ichi picks up the shutdown kill. You know, Sodalist finally completes his Trinity Force, so hashtag may be winnable, but, I mean...
The game's over, though, so... yeah, he completes his Trinity Force just in time to watch his team lose. I don't like that build on the Hecarim. I don't think he played particularly well. I think there were mistakes everywhere from WooLoo Gang. Still, though, actually, this is kind of... I still think you could be happy here.
Oh my God!
That's a lot of damage. I don't think it's WooLoo Gang. If you look at the day as a whole, I don't think you come away from this sad.
You don't. You go in. You're 1 for 1 on the day. Actually, you no longer are winless. I would take this as a fat dub for WooLoo Gang. I'm pretty sure they're happy with it. I want to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Wandon.
I was thinking Colma 25.
We should bring in Colma. I think Colma or Wandon.
I think Colma's more important to that game than Wisher was. Despite Wisher's KDA at the end there and popping off in those team fights, I don't think he gets a chance to do that if Colma doesn't absolutely kind of snowball that game.
Wandon actually wants the interview, so we're going to move Brandon Wandon Wisher over.
Okay, bring Wandon in here. He already cast 1 game, just needs more airtime, I guess.
Wandon!
Colma was on 100 ping the whole game. His mouse couldn't right-click, and he still out-jungled Ben.
True.
What do you think about the Hecarim pick from Sodalist? I don't recall him ever actually playing Hecarim that much.
Did you see me in all chat? I was just like, Hecarim's a ganking champion, Ben, but he couldn't catch on. I tried to give him a hint.
Oh God, please, man, he's already dead. Don't do it to him more.
4 times, actually.
Don't do it to him more, man. He's already dead, bro. Well, how do you feel about that win? It was a little closer than expected.
I was actually mad disappointed. I thought they put up a better fight.
What was it like landing against Big Ichi?
Man's boring, dude. He picked fucking WooLoo. What do you want?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in that.
If Ben put him on that, I'm sorry, Big Ichi. Like, I'm sorry you have to have that captain, but like, Jesus fuck, come on, play a matchup.
You blind picked the Vlad into him. I expected to see him just pull Echo right back out.
Me too, but he didn't.
Yeah, that kind of Echo can really body Vlad if you play it right.
Yeah, I was willing to go off of just player difference, but like he was just gonna give you the matchup anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because it's nice to see that he can play different things. I don't think he played the Lulu bad by any means, but there's just not as much you can do on that champ.
Kind of played it bad.
Yeah, I don't know. He did miss it. He did forget to ult himself a couple of times. He was running away.
Super troll.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have I get it. He had lane pressure for the first like 5 levels, but after that, he actually I stopped his base once and the lane was over.
True. He laned from 0 from
then he went from
quarter
like,
HP.
CS to like literal 30 CS lead, and at that point, if you're down 30 CS, like level like 7 and beyond versus Vlad, then it's over.
True. What were you feeling when Kaiser Overlord came down to the side lane and
My honest thought was that he just wouldn't fight back.
he fought back.
I was very confused when he started hitting me back.
Yeah, he decided that he was not going to take any of that. I think his side laning was pretty good, but his team fighting was a little bit questionable.
And I realized I actually had to play the game because my team has a tendency to troll me, knowing that I don't want to play some of these games and that they'll just prolong it. So I was like, fine, we'll just end right here.
Oh man, that's a rough one to hear, actually.
After these, I've got a good question because I think the Washington LeagueBall team, we've all seen that they're pretty strong and they're pretty dangerous. After watching and then playing against WooLoo Gang today, do you still think they're the worst team in this tournament, or do you think they're actually a force to be reckoned with?
You want my honest answer?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
I think that they're the worst team. But they're still gonna end up better than Gum Squad. I think Gum Squad's better players, but they're just not gonna be as good. Makes any sense.
That's a hot take. That's definitely a hot take.
I like it.
We'll look
I like
forward to
that
it.
take.
I mean, these two teams, they're going to have to play against each other eventually, so we'll see. Though I think the only team currently that is winless is Bambi's Baskets, and they're going to try and look to turn things around against their game against... Let's actually check the schedule really quickly.
I believe it's your team on Friday or Saturday.
Looks like it on Saturday, and then you follow that up with a game against Gum Squad at 9:30 p.m.
So we're going to chalk those up to 2 hard L's. We'll look for our wins
by
later.
the way, if you guys can move that to 10 p.m., that would be perfect, because then we can stream Rams of Love versus Forehead and Bambi's Baskets versus Gum Squad back-to-back.
You need to talk to my captain about that, but actually I don't think we can do that. I'm pretty sure that Kian has things to do.
I would like to say that WooLoo Gang kind of trolled me by putting... I was actually... Like, you don't understand, like, I didn't want to play this game. For the same reason I didn't want to play Gum Squad game. Like, I don't want to play games that are, like, not a contest. So, like, when they put Big Ichi... Like, I saw Big Ichi play, and I was like, shit, maybe he's okay. Maybe he's good. Like, and I was like, alright, maybe I want to play this game. I sat up in my chair a little bit. You know, I was leaning back. And then the man picked LuLu. And then he broke my heart. So, whoever's call that was, fuck you. You ruined my night.
Was a little bit disappointing after just Big Ichi just smurfed game 1, and I was all on the Big Ichi train. And then when you pick LuLu, that's something I would do, and nobody gets hyped for Red Lightning plays. So
I'm sure you can player diff some mids in this tourney, like off of playing LuLu and just straight player diff them. But like you pick Hecarim, like if you look at the pick ban, we lock in Olaf Vlad, and then they lock in Hecarim LuLu. Like,
yeah,
why?
it was kind of sad.
What lane does,
I just feel like that's just Gigaloo's in the mid jungle, just straight up. Because I know Olaf just dumpsters Hecarim, and then Vlad has a free
how does
lane
Hecarim
against
can't
LuLu.
gank? Hecarim wants to be next to LuLu the whole game.
Right, exactly.
But he can't gank the mid lane because I'm fucking Vladimir. He runs right past me. I press pull. Like I joked around like the entire game, like Ben, you have to gank, right? But who's he gonna gank realistically? He's not gonna gank his bot lane. That's just unlucky.
I think he needed to go bot. That's the only thing. Though he went bot once. And before he even got there, he forced Balraga's flash, Joko Lyoko's TP, and then into play afterwards, gets a kill, and Kaiser Overlord gets the first turret top lane. So, by going bot once, actually snowballed his gold lead, like, plus, like, 2k, but never went bot again and didn't go bot before that, and kind of forgot that lane existed.
But still, like, that is just not a winnable combo, because you get... Like, sure, like, I got, like, stronger earlier, but say that game goes say, like, I don't get early kills, and that game goes 6 minutes longer, the same thing happens.
Oh, yeah, big time.
There's not a win con. Like, there's, like, as long as I have flash up, there's no way Lux, LuLu, and Vladimir can survive me, and Hecarim's gonna run right past me. So.
Well, once again, good win, congratulations to you. Your team is sitting near the top of the standings. I believe you guys only have 1 loss right now.
Yeah, we lost Rams.
Yeah, so you guys are sitting up near the top in pretty good positions to make the playoffs without running the gauntlet. So good to see from you guys. Look forward to seeing your next few games, and I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight.
Red, win. We're all rooting for you.
I'd like a win. I really want one. I just want to get one.
I really want you to win, Tristan, but at the same time, I want my team to win as well. So you guys have my permission to win against Gum Squad, but you're not allowed to win against my team.
We only want to win against your team. That's the team we're gunning for the hardest.
Really? Is it just because I'm on it? Is it because I'm the assassin player?
It's not even about assassins, man. We just feel like that team has the most the most people that we need to take down.
Okay then. I see how it is.
We gotta knock you down a peg. Show Yukino Simp's not fit for the jungle.
Listen, my team talks a lot of shit, but I swear no one talks more shit than Sim Squad.
Ooh, what do you mean?
True, absolutely true. Absolutely true. We're gunning for Sim Squad.
All I'm gonna say about Bambi's Baskets is you got Kian on Soraka duty when he should be playing mid lane. That's all.
My team be talking shit before and after the game. All right, we keep it consistent. Sim Squad's a bit more irritating because they wait till after the game to unload.
Throwing mad barbs here in the post game interview. I like it. Either way, I think we're gonna wrap it up now. Once again, congratulations, Mr. Brandon Wynn and Wisher Washington. Look forward to seeing your next game.
All right, boys, we're gonna end the stream there. I'm gonna go use Josh's bath bombs. Peace out.